showing Aaron something back there. Mario is. Last meeting, why he crashed.
All right, it's cold in here.
Okie doke.
Thank you.
No, she went to make a phone call. Jane Pope.
Present.
Aaron Cook.
Here.
Bill Bruner.
Here.
Mike Lawrence.
Here.
J.R. Holcraft.
Here.
Olin Clausen, Utility Director.
Present.
Leslie Votal, Attorney. Here. Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Ms. Bay wrote this public hearing, rate increase. Any comments or guidance?
This is the open public hearing for the utility rate increase that was published in the paper set for today. I will note that the agenda is incorrect. The first date is incorrect. It should be February 23rd, 2015. So if I could have a motion to amend the agenda.
Any motion? Amend the agenda?
I'll move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We also did notice in the paper that a common council meeting would immediately follow the public hearing if there are no comments.
Any comments? Motion carried.
So moved. No motion.
Second?
Second.
Favor?
What are we adjourning?
Oh, we're closing the public. Okay.
Or if we just close.
You can just, yeah.
Okay. Public hearing's closed. Next council meeting.
Go ahead and do the roll call again.
Roll call again.
Yeah, just give me a second here. Jane Pope.
Present.
Aaron Cook.
Here.
Bill Bruner.
Here.
Mike Lawrence.
Here.
J.R. Holcraft.
Do here.
Olin Clausen, Utility Director.
Present.
Leslie Votal, Attorney.
Here.
Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
This time, I guess we can proceed with the first reading if everyone's comfortable with that.
Oh,
And
I didn't bring them. I'm sorry.
What?
His sheets. To know when to suspend, when to do it. Okay. Make me a copy before you come back, please. That's in my other thing at work.
Amendment to Ordinance Title 5 to amend Chapter 50, Chapter 52, and Chapter 53 of the Lawrenceburg Code of Ordinances. Whereas the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg has authority pursuant to its statutory and home rule powers to amend this ordinance. Whereas the Common Council now determines in conjunction with the certified public accountant and the utility board that amendments to the ordinance establishing the water and sewer rates for the City of Lawrenceburg are necessary to increase revenues and fund capital improvements of the Lawrenceburg municipal utilities. Now therefore be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg that amendment be made to the Lawrenceburg Code of Ordinances Title 5 to Chapter 50 entitled Electricity, Chapter 52 entitled Sewers, and to Chapter 53 entitled Water, to read as follows. Section 50.01, Schedule of Rates adopted. The revised schedule of rates and charges for electric utility service as shown upon which this chapter is based is adopted and approved. A, residential service.
I don't know.
The rates for 2015 city residential service, first 300 kilowatt hours are 0.109. Next 700 kilowatt hours are 0.087. Over 1,000 kilowatt hours is 0.069. Facility charge per month is $6.09. The meter monthly rates for rural residential service, first 300 kilowatt hours, 0.154. Next 700 kilowatt hours, 0.099. Over 1,000 kilowatt hours, 0.079. Facility charge per month is $7.95. B, commercial service. The monthly metered rates per kilowatt hour. City commercial service, first 500 kilowatt hours, 0.154 cents. Next 2,000 kilowatt hours, 0.136. Next 2,500 kilowatt hours, 0.088. Over 5,000 kilowatt hours, 0.069. Facility charge per month is $9.82. Monthly metered rates per kilowatt hour. Rural commercial service for 2015. First 500 kilowatt hours is 0.188. Next 2,000 kilowatt hours is 0.167. Next 2,500 kilowatt hours is 0.106. Over 5,000 kilowatt hours is 0.090. Facility charge per month is $9.82. D, city power service. The monthly meter rates per kilowatt hour. The first 500 kilowatt hours is 0.173 cents in 2015. Next 2,000 kilowatt hours is 0.154. Next 25 kilowatt hours is 0.108. Over 5,000 kilowatt hours is 0.088. Facility charge per month is $9.82. The primary power and light. Monthly demand charge per kilowatt ampere of maximum demand. 2015 will be $12.38. Monthly energy charge per kilowatt hour. First 360 hours use of billing maximum load, 0.054. Over 360 hours use of maximum billing maximum load is 0.042. Minimum charge per month is $618.50. Retail power plant service. Monthly customer charge in 2015 is $618.50. The demand charge per kilowatt of billing demand is $12.38. The energy charge per kilowatt hour of billing energy for the first 360 hours use of billing demand, 0.054. Over 360 hours use, 0.042. The reactive demand charge per kilovolt ampere of reactive billing demand is see amended Exhibit B attached. Can review that. Let's refer to that. Exhibit B, page 1 of 2, Municipal Electric Utility, Lawrenceburg, Indiana, Retail Power Plant Service, Applicability. This rate is applicable for electric service to power plants with intermittent generation. Because of its intermittent generation, the power plant will receive electric service from the city for real and reactive power as measured by the input channel measurements for each meter serving the generation facility. Electric service under this rate shall be subject to the terms and conditions of a special services contract. Character of service. Electricity furnished under this rate shall be a three-phase alternating current delivered at transmission voltage at a nominal frequency of 60 hertz. Monthly rate. The demand charge is 12.38 kVA. kVA of billing demand. Energy charge, first 360 hours of billing demand, 0.054 per kilowatt of billing energy. Over 360 hours use of billing demand, 0.042 per kilowatt of billing energy. Minimum monthly charge is $618.50 per month. Adjustment. The charges in the above rate are subject to the purchase power cost adjustment tracker to be developed by LMU and approved by the LMU regulatory body. Late payment charge. Customer's payment is due in accordance with the general terms and conditions for electric service. Billing demand. In any billing period, the maximum demand shall be the customer's single highest 60-minute aggregate demand during which the energy metered expressed in kilowatts is greater than in any other such 60-minute interval in such period. The billing demand expressed in kilovolt amperes, kVA, shall be the maximum demand divided by the power factor occurring in the same 60-minute interval for each meter. In the event the metered energy for a given meter reads 0 kilowatts in the 60-minute interval, the calculated aggregate contribution of the billing demand for that meter shall be 0 kVA. Billing energy. The billing energy shall be the aggregate metered energy delivered for each meter serving the generation facility delivered during the billing period. Power factor. The power factor is obtained by the following formula, where A equals maximum 60-minute kilowatts, kW, and B equals reactive kilovolt amperes occurring in the same 60-minute period as the maximum kilowatts is obtained from a reactive component meter. Any reactive component meter used shall be equipped with ratchets to prevent registration of leading power factor. Billing period. The billing period shall be a calendar month. I'm sorry. It's amendment to Chapter 50, Chapter 52, and Chapter 53 of Title 5. Resuming with subsection F, public street lighting per year for 2015 is $70,686. G, outdoor lighting, the meter rate. Hold on just a moment.
You need mine.
No, hold on. I think it just got messed up as far as the order here that was in your packets. I should have put the outdoor lighting is actually this one. You guys, this is the monthly rate per lamp. It's this one. So I'm proceeding with that. What was in your packets, the next page was the water. So this just got mixed up as far as the pages. The top of the page does say metered rate, monthly rate per lamp on outdoor lighting. The monthly rate per lamp in 2015 for mercury vapor, 175 watt is $10.76, 250 watt is $15.74, 400 watt is $23.32, and 1000 watt is $37.66. High pressure sodium, 250 watt floodlight is $23.32, 400 watt floodlight is $37.66, and railroad signals are $64.03. That's total changes to that one in particular. Section 50.03, return check charge. There shall be a $50 processing charge added to the utility bill of any customer whose check is returned for insufficient funds. 50.06, reconnection fees. When electric service has been turned off by the electric utility for non-payment of bills, a reconnection charge of $50 must be paid by customer before such service is reconnected. All other guidelines and rules of service are contained in a booklet given to every new utility customer at the commencement of their service, which are incorporated herein. Section 50.07, purchase power cost adjustment tracking factor. When future changes occur in the cost of purchase power, which change could cause a change in the purchase power cost adjustment tracking factor, calculated in accordance with the order of the Public Service Commission of Indiana approved on December 17, 1976, and cause number 34614, as may be hereafter amended by said commission, such factors shall automatically be changed accordingly. See Appendix A. I did add that just because there was no reference in the ordinance that would just have the Appendix A on there, so that was to clarify. Section 52.101, going on to the sewage, water usage schedule, sewage. Can be determinable as follows. 1, metered water users. The sewage rates and charges shall be based on the quantity of water used on or in the property or premises subject to such rates and charges as the same as measured by the water meter there in use, plus the base charge, except as here when otherwise provided. For the purpose of billing and collecting the charges for sewer service, the water meters shall be read monthly or a period equaling a month. The water usage schedule on which the amount of rates and charges shall be determined as follows. Meter rate per 1,000 gallons, rural.
Where we at now?
Get back where we were.
I don't know how these all got mixed up. Like I said, the top of it reads meter rate per 1,000 gallons, rural.
Yeah, meter rate. per
If you look
1,000
down
gallons,
under two-
Non-rural.
Jane.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Meter rate per 1,000 gallons rural, 2015, $5.80. Minimum monthly charges for use in rural. Meter size, 5/8 or 3/4 inch is $4.23. 1 inch meter is $10.82. 1.5 inch meter is $24.34. 2 inch meter is $43.26. 3 inch meter is $97.34. 4 inch meter is $173.06. 5 inch meter is $389.38. 2, unmetered water users. For single-family rural residential users of sewage works that are unmetered water users or accurate meter readings are not available, the monthly charge shall be shown below as determined by an average of single-family dwelling units, 5,000 gallons per month. Sewage service bills shall be rendered once each month or a period equaling a month. Unmetered monthly user rates in rural for 2015 is $33.23. Going on to the water ordinance. Section 5301, meter rate schedule for water. There's established for the use of and service rendered by the waterworks system of the city. The following rates and charges based on the use of water supplied by such waterworks system. Meter monthly rates per 1,000 gallons. First 2,000 gallons is $6.78. Next 3,000 gallons is $4.55. Meter rate per 1,000 gallons non-rural. 2015 is $4.46. The minimum metered monthly charges for use also go by meter size. 5/8 inch or 3/4 inch is $3.25. This is the right one? No, it's not, is it?
No.
I don't know how all these got mixed up.
You'll skip back, it goes to the next 10,000 gallons.
Oh, I'm sorry. There we go.
So where we at?
They didn't staple them in order.
One that says the next 10,000 gallons, and it's $4.35 at the top of the page, Jane.
Okay.
Sorry. Jeez, oh Pete's.
Why
Next-
don't you read off of Olin's if he's got everything in line?
Mine's not in line either. I've had to jump around. Have you got it? It's the next 10,000 gallons?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had 3,000 gallons is $4.55. Next 10,000 gallons is $4.15. And over 15,000 gallons is $3.40. 5302, minimum charge. Each user shall pay a minimum charge in accordance with the following applicable size of meter installed, for which the user will be entitled to the quantity of water set out in the schedule in 5301. 5/8 inch or 3/4 inch is $13.56 for 2015. A 1 inch meter is $33.97. 1.5 inch meter is $56.61. A 2 inch meter is $82.91. A 3 inch meter is $150.96. A 4 inch meter is $226.43. Section 5303, fire protection. Charges for fire hydrants shall be as followed. 2015, public fire protection per hydrant per year is $811.95. Private fire protection per hydrant per year is $811.95. B, charges for private sprinklers shall be as follows. Annual sprinkler charge, size of connections 2 inch is $362.32. 4 inch is $724.64. The 6 inch is $905.81. The 8 inch is $1,086.98, and the 10 inch is $1,268.14. review this real quick.
Did you read the page, unmetered monthly user rate?
I think we did the rural, not the non-rural.
Were we supposed to do the non-rural?
Yeah, we're supposed to do the non-rural. So I'll read those now. This is under the sewage rates and charges, and this is for non-rural. The meter rate per 1,000 gallons for non-rural in 2015 is $4.46. The minimum meter monthly charge for use for non-rural is 5/8 inch or 3/4 inch is $3.25. 1 inch meter is $8.32. 1.5 inch meter is $18.72. 2 inch meter is $33.28. A 3 inch meter is $74.88. A 4 inch meter is $133.12. And a 5 inch meter is $299.52. The unmetered water users for single-family residential uses of the sewage works that are unmetered water users or accurate meter readings are not available. The monthly charge shall be shown as below, is determined by average of a single-family dwelling units, 5,000 gallons per month. Sewage service bills shall be rendered once each month or period equaling a month. The unmetered monthly user rate for non-rural is $25.55. There were no other changes in the following other following sections. They just
CM1 didn't change.
C and 1 did not change. It was just the numbers that I did already read. If you want me to read those again, I can. Those were for the rural.
No, you already read the rural.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Any questions?
I'm just gonna review this to make sure it was all read. Give me a couple minutes. Looks good. The only comment I have, you did the adjustments by the rate amount and dollars and cents. But, correct me if I'm wrong, the water's going up 6%, the electric's going up 6%, and the sewage is going up 18%.
I believe that's
State your name, John.
Yeah, sewage is 2% overall. Cost of service studies for every customer will see a difference. Water was.
And that was just the way it was billed,
That isn't
correct?
the way it was stated to us.
That was just the way it was billed, correct, as far as the meter size instead
That's
of,
what you read in
right.
the record.
The water's 18% and electric is 6%.
Yes.
And how does that affect the sewage?
It was a 2% overall.
Thank you.
Questions?
So, ordain and pass on the, sorry, today's the 23rd day of February 2015 at 5:25 p.m. in accordance with the applicable law by the Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County, Indiana.
Okay, motion to approve first reading of ordinance number, amendment to number 50, 52, 53, Title 5.
I'll move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Jane,
Yes.
Aaron,
No.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
okay. And JR is,
Yes.
okay.
First reading's passed. Since there was a no, we don't have a unanimous to go on to the second and third reading this time. We will table it and ask that it be set on the next agenda for the city council on March,
Monday.
Monday.
Motion table to Monday meeting. Second. Second.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I know you weren't gonna vote to suspend the rules, right?
Why not?
Well, I mean, you can ask that if he wants to suspend the rules, we can proceed, but that's up to you all.
You can't do them all in one night anyway, can you?
No. If it's not unanimous.
Anybody else want to speak?
Mayor, can I bring something up under old business?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to repeal the motion that was passed on Tuesday night, February 17th meeting, removing the first mortgage on 311 Walnut Street and taking a second. I'd like to repeal that motion. That vote.
That would actually be a motion to rescind it, Mike. That can be done at the same meeting or the next meeting.
I have a motion on the floor.
Wrong motion.
What do you mean it's the wrong motion then?
There's a motion to rescind, otherwise,
Interest.
I mean, you
311.
can
Okay,
ask
thank you.
something to be repealed, but it does need to be, no, it wasn't on the agenda. But, if it's at the same meeting or the meeting, immediately following that meeting, you can do a motion to rescind the prior motion. And vote.
Hold on, agenda for next meeting.
There's a motion on the floor.
On the
Does
floor.
it matter, I mean, does he have to say rescind and then it's the same thing? Just a change of words?
I'll let the record state whether it's repeal or rescind, that I want to repeal or rescind that motion that was passed at the last meeting on February the 17th. To release the first mortgage at 311 Walnut Street.
The motion was actually, it was to make it a junior lien, not to
I want the
release it.
first mortgage kept in place.
Okay.
But it's just a motion.
Second.
I haven't asked for a second yet. Hold on a second.
Well, it wasn't put on the agenda.
It's old business, and it's already been brought up.
Yeah, but it has to be on the agenda too, Jane.
No, it doesn't.
It's passed, yes, it does.
I think if there's a motion on the floor, I believe.
Well, yeah, but you have to put agenda items, that's where we put things on agenda. So I'll let this go for this time,
Did you
now
get
I'll
a-
put it on the agendas.
Did you get a second to that?
Second.
Aaron?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Jane,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Bill,
No.
Mike,
Yes.
JR.
Nope.
Okay, it's 3-2, yeah.
from the audience. Anybody want to speak to the audience? Third time?
I got,
We got the audience. Anybody in the audience? Okay, Jane, you have something?
I think Aaron said
I
something
don't
first.
know if he's gonna let me speak up here, if you want me to go to the podium out there and speak as audience. My question was, if you'd like me to go out there, I will, but, you wouldn't accept my second because you didn't ask for a second, but for the past 3 years, you've allowed it to run that way, so I was wondering what changed all of a sudden. Okay, change for this one.
What, it made a difference.
He just had a question.
And then the
I
other.
was asking advice from the attorney.
And then the other thing was, you say it's not on the agenda, which that's fine, but I've seen at least, I'd say 40 times, everybody up here has added something on the agenda at one point or another and it's went through.
I've been trying to get everybody to put everything on the agenda so everybody prepared for everything instead of sneaking things on to people. That's the reason we do agendas.
And I would like to ask the attorney, and this is no concern for Mike, it's more concern for myself, about what happened at the last meeting, the removal of somebody up here. What's the correct process for that? Can anybody be removed at any time for saying three or four sentences with no curse words or anything in that nature?
He voluntarily left.
Okay. That's what I was wondering, because I got this book out, so I've been reading through it, so I was wondering. Like I
I
said,
mean, as far as, Mr. Lanning, I mean, he is an officer of, and if he, detected some animosity and belligerence, I mean, the mayor can basically stop the meeting at any time if he wants to. He can adjourn the meeting without a motion to adjourn.
okay.
Which, he had his right to do. But Mr. Lanning was just here as a police officer, and asked if he'd like to be escorted, and he said yes, so.
Because I was just wondering, because I've seen stuff escalate a lot more than that over the past 3 years, and nothing was ever said, and then all of a sudden, this starts happening. So I've been reading through this Robert's Rules of Order, and I've seen a few things in here. That's why I wanted to ask you first.
I do think, everything went very quickly that night, but I think the fact of the matter is, Mr. Lawrence did acquiesce in leaving, so.
I can't watch the DVD because for some reason there's no DVD of that meeting. Something strange happened.
John did report to the mayor's office, the IT. There was an error message that was sent to them at 6:04.
What he told me
So,
too.
yeah, there was only 4 minutes that were recorded. The only thing that we can suggest on doing that is at the break of every meeting, maybe, we need to make sure it's recording, in between all of your Board of Works and your parks and all that. But no one knew that it had actually malfunctioned and turned off. I don't know if he got an answer from the people.
The way he explained it, said it was a power surge, and it was rebooting itself up, and it happened to reboot it right in the middle. It was meeting.
Then the last question was, maybe you can answer it, or maybe for the next meeting, it's, when someone is being removed on the board up here, isn't there a motion that can be made by, I think maybe the person being removed, it looks like, I haven't fully reviewed it yet, but, to ask for a reconsideration for the board to vote if they should be removed or not?
I'm sure there is. The route, like you have in front of you, it's quite
Like I said, I
lengthy.
just started reviewing it today, but I didn't know if you knew much about this, because.
Not that part of it. I
I don't-
mean, the Robert's Rules of Orders that we use on a consistent basis, yes, but no, I don't know. I mean, I would have to look into that as
I
well.
was just thinking, like, because,
I can definitely look into that and bring it back to the next meeting.
Thank you. That's all.
I'd like to ask one question for the record. Maybe Officer Lanning could let us all know why I was the only one asked if I need to be escorted out.
At the time of you being escorted out, you were the one that received the questionnaire. Robert's rules not fault. I thought at the time he was being disorderly. He was trying to contradict the commander by saying, "Come on, bring it."
No, I didn't.
Come on, bring
Wait a
it.
minute, let me speak, Mike.
So at that time, yes, I did stand up and I asked him, do I need to escort you out of this meeting? They did. That's me.
Sir,
Let him finish, Mike.
sir, the only thing I said is when he said, calm down there, big boy. I said, I'll show you a big boy. I didn't say, bring it, come on, bring it, bring it.
do this all day.
Yeah, I wish there was a
To answer your
DVD.
question, that is the reason I felt like you were disorderly, and that's why I asked you if you needed to be escorted out.
But I was the only one, correct? Okay.
To answer your question.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Just, can I say something, Mayor?
Go ahead.
I just hope that through your research that you understand that anyone that acts like that should escort themselves out. You know, the police officer shouldn't have to say, hey, do I need to escort you out? You should escort yourself out. I mean, Robert's Rules of Order, I don't care what it is. If you're going to act like that, you shouldn't be sitting up here. Bottom line. And yes, it has happened several times in the last 3 years, going on 3.5. And it should have happened a long time ago. It didn't. But I'm certainly glad it did the other night.
I'm just saying, like I said, I'm not worried about Mike, I'm worried about myself in the future. If someone doesn't like what I'm saying, or I get, you know, say a few sentences might be heated, you know, I don't usually get heated, I'm pretty calm, but if I did, I mean, I'm trying to protect myself. Like I said, Mike's on his own, I'm trying to protect myself in the future, but, I mean, I didn't think it was heated enough for anybody to be removed, personally, but, you know.
I said 3 words. I wasn't allowed to talk. And I was jumped on repetitively.
I agree,
So-
I agree with
So for you
that.
to sit there and say you didn't think it was bad enough?
To be
I mean,
removed?
There was several people out here. Yeah, it was pretty
Well, I
heavy.
mean, I don't want to get into nitpicking,
was.
but he was down there talking, and I'm not sticking for Mike, because it makes no difference to me. But he was down there talking about the contracts. You know how Mike is about his contracts. He's going on with the Mrs. Taylor about the contracts, and you chimed down here. Yeah, you did, Mike. I mean, he was the one talking.
3 words.
Yeah, but you interrupted him, though.
He stopped talking, and I said, yes, you did. And
I mean,
that
we can point fingers all day.
that was all it took.
I was just wondering about myself, but.
Yeah, seems like.
Okay, any more?
Yes, Mayor. I addressed some questions I had about accounts payable register, non-reverting funds.
You need to put these on the agenda. I'm not gonna sit here all night, just bring things up. You gotta, that's what agendas are set for. Put on the agenda for next meeting. and then
I
use
want to go
research.
over it now, Mayor. It is old business. You've done allowed one
It's not on the
in.
agenda.
And this needs to be brought in. The public needs to be made aware of
Put it
it.
on the next agenda for next meeting, and it will be, where they can do the research on it too and have answers for it. So, fill out the papers with Connie, they should put it on the agenda, and we'll go from there.
You're refusing me when you
I'm not
all.
gonna sit here all night, well, I got this, I got this, put it on the agenda.
It'll only take me
Prepared.
5 minutes if that. The public needs to know.
And we need to be prepared for it. You
Eh.
spring this stuff on everybody at the last
I didn't
minute.
spring it on anybody. You sprang it on us. You backdoored us.
I didn't backdoor anybody,
And it is about the public's money that's being spent.
true. But it still needs to be on the agenda where everybody can be prepared for it.
It needs to be brought up now, and I'm going to go ahead and discuss it.
Jane, put it on, like I said, put it on the other agenda. Motion adjourned.
I'll move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
You didn't even take a roll call. I'm opposed to adjourning too.
Who
Anyway.
who did the second first for the motion to adjourn? You did? Okay, thank you. Okay. We're having a roll call vote. Jane?
No.
Aaron?
No.
Bill? Mike?
No.
And JR's a yes.
Next meeting's
6 o'clock.
Put everything you want on the agenda too.
So as legal counsel, Leslie, and the meeting was not voted to adjourn, and a council member has something to talk about the citizens' money, which is being spent, are you going to advise that she cannot speak?
As far as the adjournment rules, the mayor can adjourn the meeting at any time. We do this as a courtesy on a motion to adjourn. He's the one that runs the meetings. And you can look in that book because it does give him the right to run the meetings, so.
I just had the question.
Discuss the link, but put it on the agenda so everybody be prepared.
Can't the council call a meeting back to order with a majority? You know, they can call council meetings. Can they call it back to order with a majority vote?
I believe that, but you would have to notice that meeting.
We're still here.
Not with what she's wanting to bring up.
We brought up other stuff that wasn't on the agenda.
He did allow him to bring that up. He didn't have to.
Okay.
There was a motion to rescind that probably wasn't properly made, but, because it wasn't on the agenda. I mean, usually when you have it on the agenda, it's so that the public can be here and be able to make comments on stuff that's on the agenda. I mean, it's part
When
of
does
the
the
process.
public, January 23rd, or when? That's what the agenda says.
When did this agenda, when was it made public for the citizens?
There was the notices that we checked with, the notices were for a utility rate increase and for a city council work session on a revolving loan fund. That was what was noticed.
Actually, it says there'd be a council meeting immediately following the public hearing.
And if you read what was put in the paper, it said, we'll have immediately following to consider the ordinance.
Well, I did look at the postings over there.
Yeah, it was to consider the rate
So-
ordinance.
As legal counsel, I'm just asking, if something's not on the agenda, you cannot make a motion or vote on it.
If something's not on the agenda, what?
You cannot make a motion or vote on it.
If he allows it, he runs the meeting. If you want to have another city council meeting at this point and reopen the meeting, I mean, there was a motion, or there was an adjournment by the mayor.
I'm only asking questions, trying to understand.
I have one more question too to do with that. It has a response to what you said, but you said it has to be on the agenda because how's the public going to know what's on the agenda? But the agendas aren't given to the public until they get here in the front chair. So that doesn't even make any sense.
Well, I think they need to check the ordinance about how they're supposed to
Yeah,
put out the ordinance, or the agenda ahead of time.
And I believe old business, whether it's listed on the agenda, can be brought up. There's been several times old business has been brought up and hasn't been put on the agenda. And what I need to say to the public, they need to know.
And it will know, James. You put it on the agenda.
Why can't I say it
Because everybody's got to be
today?
prepared. They're not prepared right now.
You're not, well, you should have done what was right, or you wouldn't have had it prepared.
One for this meeting.
So legally, Leslie, I cannot bring up a very important subject about our budget and our spending without the mayor's approval.
He's the one that approves the agendas.
Well, on this agenda I got, there's nothing listed on here for the city council work session. There doesn't say anything about a utility rate increase on this agenda.
No, that part is considered on the revolving loan fund.
What?
That's the work session that's supposed to be at 6 o'clock.
The city
Well, on the
council
revolving
work-
loan
this-
fund, I didn't even get an agenda, so I guess there's
I didn't
nothing on
either.
it.
This says city council work
No, this
session.
is city council work session. This is what we just called to order to vote on that ordinance.
And this
No,
is
the work session, we intended the work session to be at 6 o'clock for the revolving loan fund, and that's what is noticed outside. The council meeting immediately following the public hearing was to review the ordinance that was read for the first reading tonight.
Okay, where's the council meeting agenda then? I don't have one then.
Because the council meeting agenda is to consider the ordinance.
Where is it? I don't have one.
No, there is no agenda because that is the agenda, the ordinance to be considered, the rate and utility rate ordinance.
If I may, I think what we had tonight was intended to be a single item agenda, i.e. the rates. So in the posting in the paper, the way that it was posted is we would have the public hearing and then immediately recess, reconvene into the council meeting to have an actual first reading on the rates. So I think the lack of a specified agenda just kind of lends to the fact that this was a single item agenda for this evening.
I agree with you, but we officially opened a council meeting.
No,
so
I'm
think-
not trying to defend any of that, I'm just giving an
I
explanation as
know,
to why.
I understand your
agendas.
explanation, but we done put one thing through, why can't we put another thing through? He allowed Mike to put a motion and a second out, and I don't even need a motion and a second. I need to just inform. That's all I need to do. And then you can come prepared back at the next meeting to counter me.
Like I told you, put it on for next agenda, we'll be prepared for you.
See your book. Do you mind? See your book. Can we take a short recess?
Sure. Well, we're adjourned.
Well, we are adjourned.
6 o'clock.
Oh, okay, thank you. Is the name she was trying to think of it before and couldn't.
Think of it,
Yeah, no, that's cool.
and I did, and I had to write it down.
They ain't allow me to bring it up tonight, but I'd be more happy for you to be here.
How you doing?
I'm Joe.
Nice to meet
I
you.
usually do the Harrison Press.
That's what I heard you.
Special summit. Why'd you vote down the,
As I said before, but you weren't present, that the city, spends frivolously in all other departments, and I won't vote to raise the citizens' utilities until the frivolous spending is cut down.
In her case, whether it was election year or not, she'll have to tell.
We bought a $300,000 garbage truck. We just got a new garbage truck a few years ago that
Oh.
lifts automatically.
The NR
It's,
funds
several items
that we
like
did
that.
at the end of last year.
anything else?
She had written a copy for it.
Off the top of my head, but I
I
can
think they're the four that.
give you a copy of the city's budget if you'd like to look through
Yeah.
and see what you consider. I don't have it with me today, but I can get it to you.
How do I contact you tomorrow?
I'll give you my card. I'll go back and get your card.
Before they spent it,
Appreciate it.
not after they, not like we do everything else after it's spent.
Okay.
That's my cell number
So
on
they
there.
have to
Okay.
come to. Well, she said that's what the ordinance
Because
should say.
it's been a while since I covered Indiana. That's just the first week.
I told her I didn't think that's what it was.
Yeah,
but I said,
and
I
you can
don't
do them
know.
all in the same meeting if it's unanimous. Yeah, so Monday,
Because-
it should,
And I don't understand,
yeah.
that's one of them involves Toby. Parks maintenance.
You can vote to suspend third.
Yeah, you can. I'm not, no.
Take that position.
Yeah,
Building monuments, parks.
yeah, so the next one would be the third Monday of the month, whatever that is. So we have, our council meetings here are the first and third Mondays of the month. Yeah, yeah, just give me a call tomorrow and,
When would it become effective if it passes?
usually immediately.
Immediately?
Yeah. That's what, I believe most of the ordinances say immediately.
Okay.
It's a good show. Keep people entertained, I guess. Don't do much for the city.
JR, it's only gonna get better.
Well, that's what I told Bill. So helping out in the primaries.
Well, even afterwards,
Yeah, I look
if it
for-
goes the way we want it to go, they're gonna,
Yeah. And they'll be done then. Hopefully.
yeah, but they'll have June, July, August, September, October. They'll have 7 months to,
Won't be no different what it is now. Can't be no worse.
yeah, that's true, I guess.
Well, I sat here in a coma. Crazy.
I just take my notes.
Hate to be like it, but
Well, that's like the last meeting. Everything happened all of a sudden. This one got up and that one got up and I'm like, what the hell happened?
yeah, it went quick. I ain't seen nothing like it before in my life. Glad I'm gonna get out of it too. You probably are too. What's up, Michael? we think?
What's up? Nothing.
What's on this, next one's loan meeting, right?
The what?
Next one's a loan committee meeting, right?
Yeah. I'll know lots.
We've done talked about all.
I think
I didn't see him.
Have you,
the other
give me
Monday,
a
Leslie
call
said something about the country
tomorrow or
club
Thursday,
loan.
whatever. I'll be
Jane wanted
around.
to talk to Mark again.
Yeah.
She said she wanted
Yeah,
to find
Tom's
out where he's
fine.
at.
Just,
I thought
after
same
9.
place he was the last time he was in here.
In the morning, it's too crazy. I'm dropping kids off at school and stuff.
Well, they primed him up good tonight, didn't they?
Huh?
They primed him up good.
Oh, yeah.
They were off school a lot last week, but they went to school half of Thursday and then all of Friday.
How'd you get so lucky to be at this one tonight, Joe?
I'm on special assignment.
Oh, okay.
I don't exactly know how long.
Oh, okay.
And I still gotta run the hair.
If you have any questions about
Yeah.
you can ask Tom back here.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I said if you have any questions, you can ask
Oh, yeah, they're very well. I remember when you ran the, back in the day.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, Yeah, well, they spent money on an attorney, they spent money on a financial person. Yes, sir, yes. Yeah, just come up and ask. I know, yes, I was aware of that.
Now, are you in the new one or still in 2?
I'm in 2.
You're still in 2?
Yeah. Yeah. One's across the street from me on Center.
To the new one, when they provide my spot.
You do good. Yeah, you will.
I have to run to Republican.
Republicans won in city council before.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
I was voting for candidate now.
That's what I do. It's crazy.
So in the primaries, if I'm on a candidate, I cross them.
Yeah.
So they can bite you.
How are you? Stranger? How you doing, sir?
Good.
Good.
Your ears burning about 2 hours.
Was your wife talking to you?
No, John's got a project coming up.
Statue of Liberty with his Keller.
Oh, no.
Has an issue.
Yeah.
On sewage?
Yeah.
Pipes running through his basement that belong to other people?
Huh? Yeah, mix them together. Yeah, mix them together.
Yeah, you know, it's, no, the reason I knew what you're talking about, you know, I talked about it briefly, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
I thought maybe your wife was telling you about our lighting meeting this morning. The downtown lighting meeting. Maybe it was your wife.
Transfer
Your wife
money.
was meeting. No, it
Spend
was,
a little bit that they weren't supposed to spend without council approval, I guess.
Snyder?
Oh, it's, you're talking about Linda.
Yeah.
Linda's a good lady.
Yeah, she was the
I have to tell her.
I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah. Well, I have a hard time keeping you guys straight. Start adding wives to
spending
it.
out of NR funds.
Yeah.
And the funds require, she's got the ordinance here. It says, these funds shall be spent with the approval of city council.
Anyway, how you doing?
Doing good.
When you ready to go to work?
Go to work.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever it's good for you, I'm retired. I'll be gone here for March 4th till the 18th. 2
So we
weeks.
could maybe I can get you a little bit before you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
How you doing?
I'll be looking down here writing.
So far, so good.
You're doing good, so that's good.
Thank you.
Do what now? I didn't hear. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she get it.
Okay.
Fairhaven, that's a good place to have it right there. That way you can get everybody.
I'll see if,
No problem.
It depends if you like them or not.
He does belong to the Eagles now, so.
we'll see, I'm still,
The other one's actually Roxanne's
I'm
uncle.
still having trouble. If you approve the budget.
John
You
Davis.
have to approve the stuff that's spent out of the budget. But that's just me.
John Senior.
What's that?
Yeah.
Coached a little bit.
His son's name's John Davis too. Is he? It goes back and forth. Yeah, then. Please.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
That's gotta be a.
Are we out of the meeting?
You gotta keep informed what's going on.
Out of council meeting, or are we in the loan committee meeting? Are we in the loan committee meeting now?
6 o'clock we will.
We're waiting for 6 o'clock. That's what hey, Owen, I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
We adjourned yet?
Yeah. Even though it's...
Jane?
I know, I'm just messing.
Miss Pope?
Jane! Olin's hollering at you.
It's cold up. Something like that. Are you speaking about John Taylor? He went, no, he's an upstanding. Yes, he was. Absolutely, he was. John Davis was a good man. He was a very good man.
Gotta wait till 6 till it starts back up.
Bill Cunningham, you seen him?
He's doing better. He's supposed to have his hip replaced tomorrow. Yeah. He had to go to the doctor last Friday and do some more blood work, but I saw him Friday night and I said, when are you going to put you back in the schedule? When he said Tuesday. Yeah, so he's real happy that it's going to be this. Because it was supposed to be.
It's like can be tracked at a special meeting is that which has been specified in the call of the meeting.
And then I
Privilege motions or any subsidiary, incidental, or other motions that varies in connection with the transaction of such business. So that, which he was talking about, had nothing to do with why the meeting was called, and neither was his. What we have to do is validate that motion that he did do, and he's saying we got to ratify it at the next regular meeting.
Yeah, because he only had 48 hours, I guess, or something like that.
Just wasn't looking good.
As far as adjourning the meeting,
So, but the last time I saw him, it was last Friday when I saw him. He had more color, looked better, and talked more positive, and that. So, unless something comes up, before tomorrow, it should be done tomorrow.
I need to get one of those because those are just revised.
Yeah, we've tried to tell him, even when he was kind of down, you'll feel so much better once you get it done. Well, by God, why can't I get it done now? Yep. I said, you just don't.
How much was it?
I just had to get this out because I didn't want to be thrown out.
How much was it?
$18.95.
All right.
Okay.
They do the right procedure.
Mark the right spot on you? Yeah.
Right name?
Well, I had the veins in my one leg done years ago. We were still years first in office. And the doctor came in, another doctor came in, I said, now, would you all make sure you get the right leg? This is important. And they said, we're going to come in and mark it with an X in different spots. I said, good, that's fine with me. Just to make sure that it's the spot. Yeah.
Wouldn't want that done twice, that's for sure.
We had to make it city council though because the revolving loan fund committee,
I know, you're sitting there thinking,
we need to ask for permission to get some appraisals.
See, it's not, I don't want to argue anymore tonight, but in the,
Lost that one.
in the ordinance, there has to be all these agendas
They outbid me.
made available to the public, unfortunately, I don't know what day, maybe Friday.
Yeah.
If you look at the ordinance, I don't know what day.
Going down there.
I know.
It's a loan meeting.
I know.
It's Leslie's.
I thought we should always post them.
Yeah, it's,
Second meeting.
I don't know if it's Friday or what.
Yeah, March 2nd. I thought you meant second meeting.
We're just doing.
I ain't really hearing none of them, really. I'm just impressed.
say, if I were you,
It has to be like in the lobby or. Anybody can come.
just saying.
They haven't been doing that.
It's better than TV.
I think it actually, you're probably pretty excited here too when you're coming in. There's a few things that.
I have.
Different issues to worry about.
No, I didn't think so. No, thanks. I have my moments, when it's like, oh, really, and I can't wait to get over this group. Not that I don't like you two, that's not it. It's the others.
Yeah, I got the same feeling.
Yeah.
There's no I in team, right?
Yeah. But, and every time something happens, it's like, oh my God, what else can go on? Or go,
I think it's crazier than hell. But, what else?
2.5 months.
So will I.
Me too.
We ready?
Yeah, me and Bill and JR will be gone too.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody ready?
Mike's back there talking yet.
Get up here.
Hit it.
Are you ready, Mike?
Revolving loan fund committee.
Okay,
council meeting. Revolving
He's
loan.
asking me, are we ready? Are we ready? And I said, Mike's back there talking. Oh,
Call this revolving loan and council meeting to get order. Roll call, please.
Jane Pope,
Present.
Aaron Cook.
Here.
Bill Bruner.
Here.
Mike Lawrence.
Here.
J.R. Holcraft.
I'm here.
Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Mayor Carr.
Here.
And myself.
I just have one announcement. We want to go ahead and set, if, according to you guys, what works for your schedules, the next revolving loan fund committee meeting, March 23rd or March 30th,
What days are those?
Mondays.
Mondays, okay.
I'll be out of town on the 23rd.
Does the 30th work for
30th.
everyone?
That's fine, man.
30th okay for everybody?
What time would be good for you? You want to, we did have a request from Mr. Gatti at one point to do them at 6 o'clock. Is that okay with everyone?
6 o'clock?
All right. Make sure we get that noticed.
Yes.
I guess you can go ahead.
I have an announcement.
Did you do a call to order? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, roll call. All right, you're good.
At the previous meeting, there was a male that requested old business, and he was allowed to proceed with old business. I requested to bring up something under old business. I was denied. I believe I was denied because I'm a female. I was sexually discriminated against because of my being a female. Why should a man be allowed to bring up old business and a woman not? And I just want that down for the record.
There are some minutes that Jackie produced to us December 17th for the December 17th loan committee. You You passed those out at the last meeting?
Yeah.
Is that correct? So I guess you can see whether or not they want to approve their minutes from the December
Approve the minutes
17th.
from last previous meeting?
When did we get them?
You should have got them at the last council meeting or something. I handed out copies to everybody
I must have missed
If
it.
you-
before we started.
I can't vote on it because I didn't review them. Sorry.
We can table, if you want to do a motion to table, we can, if you want to review them, we can do, maybe since you're the same board, I don't know. We can do it at the next loan committee meeting. We'll just make sure that the December 17th and tonight's minutes.
And
Entertain a motion to table, do you have time to review?
Table.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Just a couple of business, I believe.
Right. Here's a little bit.
At the last meeting, there were 3 individual loans that you asked me to send out letters to. Was Davis Holding Company, Jets Property, and the Dearborn Golf Resort LLC. Those letters were sent, giving them 30 days to try to become current, and 60 days or further legal action may be taken. I did speak with Mr. Aneski. We just had not been able to meet, but he does have the stuff from his bank and is going to meet with me before our next meeting. So he did find some payments that were not credited. So
Who was that again?
Mr. Anefsky with Jets Property. If you remember, there were some payments that he was making on the loans that weren't showing up on what we had. So I made.
He does have verification,
Yes. He was.
and they weren't recorded at the clerk treasurer's office?
Correct. I think
they didn't get,
that's
they
the
probably
case.
got recorded. They didn't get recorded. Although we checked that other thing.
Yeah. Well, he got his bank record, so I just
The
haven't had a
point
chance-
is, they needed to be recorded, and they
Yeah.
needed to be deposited.
Yeah.
Did they get deposited back
I don't
into the
know,
correct
because
account?
we had done a check on him and we couldn't find those months he's talking about.
Well, and you know, I haven't seen them, so as soon as I see them, well, I'll make sure that it comes back to.
We just
to
got
the-
money flying in the air.
Yeah, Jane, of course.
We don't know where
I
it's
have a whole
at,
drawer full in my office.
but we need to find out where the money's at.
Yeah, but as soon as I'm able to get maybe the best thing to do would
I
be.
don't know that it was ever, brought to my office is what I'm trying to say.
Well, Jealousy just said it was.
Well, Mr. Aneski says it was. We're gonna have to see what he's got.
Yeah, and maybe what I'll do is just we can make the meeting at your office, Jackie. Then you can go through your records at the same time. He told me he would make an appointment with me within the next couple weeks, so I can bring that back to you on March 30th.
Leslie, on that motion, I thought the motion was to send out those letters to anybody that was late.
And those were the 3 that.
Those was only 3?
Yeah,
late?
the other ones were just the ones that had the balloon payment past due, those were the ones that are, paying and that we basically need to do something with them and with the banks.
So you sent one to Linkmeyer?
I did not send one to Linkmeyer. I did send it, wait a minute, yes, I did send one to Linkmeyer. You received one, right? Sorry, I got that file here too. So there were 4 altogether that were sent out. As we talked about a little bit the last meeting, there was a meeting that Jane attended with the mayor and I, and with Mr. Bucher. That is the Dearborn Golf Resort. I think I'm asking from you all to get a motion to conduct an appraisal, a current appraisal of the property. I think that's what the end result of that meeting was, is that we were going to get an appraisal on the real estate, and whether or not that needs to be on the real estate value or the business model. That's something you guys need to decide too.
Has he made a payment since that meeting?
I think he did make
We've got a few payments, yeah.
You did? More than one?
It may only be one.
Okay.
I looked at, wait a minute here. I've got it here.
I'm pretty sure he made a payment like 2 or 3 days after we met. So if he's made after that, I don't know.
What date did we meet?
The meeting was on January 15th.
Okay. Yeah, he made a payment on January 22nd, and they made another one on 2/11.
And what were the amounts?
Just a second. $2,500. So they really took two things and made one payment because the payments were $5,000.
You made two 2,500?
Uh-huh.
Is he present?
No, not that I know of.
He gave us some figures. I don't necessarily want to divulge those in the public meeting, but he went over, he had basically, and Jane, you can confirm this, there were different numbers set out as far as payroll and property taxes he's paid out there. The biggest problem, I think, is because his banquet revenues have gone down drastically.
Banquet?
The banquet,
You said-
yeah,
I thought you said
his
bank.
banquet revenues have gone down drastically. His golf revenues have been up. The restaurant's kind of has broken even. But as far as how we'll handle it, the consensus of that meeting, to which you were all invited, was to try to get a current appraisal. In the meantime, Jackie, I think we were going to look for the appraisals from 06 and then 10 or 11, if, and I can come over and help you look for that.
I can do that.
There was from 2006, and then that was when the original loan was given to the Dearborn
Okay.
Country Club. And then 2010 or 11 were the appraisals when Dearborn Golf Resort assumed
Okay.
the loan.
That information should have been available for tonight.
I asked you at the last council meeting, Jane, you and Leslie both, what you needed for tonight's meeting, and the only thing you could say was, well, I think we need to have Linkmar come in here and talk to him. I'm serious. That's what you
Well,
said.
Leslie should have handled you getting the appraisals that were formerly appraised. That's not my job. I
No.
said we should invite Linkmar. I did
You
make
seem
that
to only be
comment.
concerned about Linkmar. You didn't seem to be concerned about anything else.
Actually,
Because I thought our attorney would be taking care of it. She knew what we talked about, she knew what we discussed it, and she just now stated what she needed. She should have stated that to you earlier.
actually, at the last loan meeting, I asked if there was any appraisals ever done on the country club.
And we still haven't seen them. Leslie, can you explain to them what brought about why we suggested that the property be appraised?
Well, for the main thing was, I think that the modification amount, the amount that was assumed by this new entity, whether or not the property was worth what they assumed. I think that's what how the discussion went. You know what I mean? I mean, whether or not the property appraised for the amount that they actually assumed. I think part of the problem back in 2006 and why the city even got involved was they spent more than they should have after a fire. They used proceeds from the fire, the insurance on the fire to rebuild, but then went over $3 million too. The project went over budget $3 million, is from what I understand what Mr. Stratman was saying.
And
then when
they assumed a $3.2 million loan
Yes.
from the city of Lawrenceburg to finish it.
Well, basically to continue the business.
to continue the business. And then the new owner, I can't remember his name.
It's Mr. Bucher and Mr. Goebel.
Mr. Bucher and Mr. Goebel, when they took over the property, they assumed that loan for $3.2 million.
Correct.
And at that time, there was an appraisal of the property.
They think so, yes. It was 3.15, but yes, that's correct.
Okay. So they were willing to assume the 3.2 loan because they got an appraisal approximately valued at 3.15?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have not seen that appraisal, so I'm not sure what the amount of it was. But that would probably be helpful to any of the banks that, that's the other thing that I wanted to bring up with you guys. But I guess whether or not you want to get this appraisal, that's up to you.
Why don't we see if they have what they assumed, those appraisals, then?
Okay.
I mean, we don't need to have it appraised.
The assessment at the county was 700 to 900,000, but that doesn't, that's what I have in my notes too.
Can you further explain why you wanted it appraised?
I believe what Mr. Bucher was talking about was whether or not there can be any kind of modification of the loan. To see whether or not the collateral on the loan is worth what the loan is. I think that was the gist of it.
So basically, I heard what you heard. If the new appraisal comes in less than what the property's valued at, he would like us to drop that loan amount modified.
Well, and that kind of
I'm
goes.
not done speaking.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Modified to what the new appraisal value is.
As a possibility.
As
yes.
a possibility, which in turn we would be losing, I don't know how much. But I think we have a obligation to the citizens to get our $3.2 million back.
Again, I think we need to see what their what their appraisal was, because I bought a house 3 years ago, and I know now it's not gonna assess or appraise at what it was back then. So, but I can't tell the bank, hey, I want you to take my house back. So, I think we need to see what their appraisal is.
The previous appraisals
right.
were.
Yeah, because at the time they agreed to do this,
Right.
and by all means, I want to work with them. I want us to get our money back, but I think the appraisal from then, that's what they assume. And if there isn't an appraisal, and I would assume there is.
Yeah, I don't know
Just
whether
my
there
thoughts.
is.
Anybody else in board members' comments?
I agree with Bill.
I would just like to say, which I brought up before, is why, I would have thought back when this loan was giving that the city that give the loan would have verified that it was worth giving that much money. And that's why I asked about that at the last meeting. So I would sure think that back in 2006, for sure, they would have an appraisal. And then I would have thought again when they allowed somebody to assume it, they would have had an appraisal.
I do think at the time, Mike, and I can check with Mr. Votal, but I do think there was a big concern with the city that they didn't really want to own a golf course. I think we have probably those same concerns today, but, and they didn't want to see them go under because they were, so I don't know. That's I think the reasoning under the 2006 thing. And at that time, I think while we did confirm that Aurora did annex it, and so they were helped a little bit that way, because I think it helped with their utility bills at that point, not paying the out of area.
Which that should have actually drove up property value, since it's in city limits now. So, it's my understanding, are you saying that in 2006, it was done just because they didn't want to see it go under? So
I mean, that was the main concern. I mean, correct me if I'm
There were a lot
wrong.
of variables. I mean, there was a lot of discussion, but, you know, I can't sit here and say verbatim why, but, I mean, there was a lot of discussion between the board. But again, you know, that was then, this is now, and, you know, someone has assumed a loan, and, you know, right now, I think the city's, obviously, we're in a better position than we were, so, again, that's just my thought. I think it's all about getting our money back, but
the other things that happened in between time too was that we did meet with the three banks that responded to my letters, sent out letters January 2nd to UCB, US Bank, Fifth Third, Friendship, and Dearborn Savings. 3 of the 5 responded, and we had meetings with those entities.
Bank. Say U.S. Bank? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep, UCB, US Bank, and Friendship. They had some different ideas on how to handle the loans that we have, but also, like I say, US Bank was more for what we could do in the future. One of the things they suggested was a 501c3 to administer separately, because then there is a designation by the federal government, so we can get grants from that. So, I mean, those are things to look at in the future. I know right now you guys are just looking at trying to administer these loans, and that was the thrust of those meetings. I thought that, you know, basically that if a bank were involved, that they would require current appraisals for all the collateral. That was mentioned in the Friendship State Bank meeting, also in the UCB meeting. But then I think Mr. McLaughlin from UCB also left a message with Grant Hughes today, and which he passed on to me, that said that you might not have to get appraisals for all the collateral. I was prepared tonight to ask you to do that, because that's the only way that I see, you know, save what Mr. McLaughlin has to say about it, to evaluate our portfolio at this point, to see, you know, how much those, you know, the loans are worth as far as a fair market value. Because part of what they, you know, obviously some of the things that can happen, or, you know, that we can do would have to could include selling bad debts, and there are companies out there. All 3 of the institutions told us there are companies out there that would buy your bad debts on a you know, not for the full amount. Basically, it was like anywhere from 60 to 80% on the dollar. That solution obviously would be something where we would get out of it completely. We would, you know, when we sell the debt, we sell the you know, everything with it. That's on one extreme. Another suggestion that they had was to the ones that are making payments, to raise the interest rates, to refinance, or you know, if they had somewhere to go, to motivate them to go somewhere else and refinance. That was one of the suggestions that they also had. But necessarily for any bank to be involved in these, in administering these, helping us with these, there's a risk rating that they have to assign each one. I'm not in the banking business. I do think that, you know, you guys should vote either tonight or at the next meeting, to go with one of these institutions. I think all three of them had, good information. I don't know that there was one in particular that, you know, was better than the other. I think all three of them were very helpful. They came in on their own time. We met for over an hour on each one of them. So, but the common theme throughout was that a board would be set up with non-elected officials. They would be bank representatives. And we could have, you know, like, for instance, Mr. Hughes on the board to report back to us. But that was their common theme as far as any future of a board. U.S. Bank brought over quite a few people. There was two separate entities that came. One was a 501c3, like I said, and one was a LLC and a 501c3 that administer their funds. So, I mean, going forward, I mean, we've already talked to our outside counsel. They've told us we need to get out of the loan business. So, you know, that like I said, that's something for future consideration. But
will we have the opportunity to review each bank's proposal?
Yeah, I can ask them to prepare one. They basically just came and talked to us. I took some notes, but I would rather them, you know, and if you want me to, I can send letters to the three and have them send a letter so that can be distributed to you all and you can review them if you'd like.
Am I allowed to make a motion on this?
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion that this city looks into selling these debts and get out of the banking business before it spends $80,000 for somebody to sit on the board, $200 an hour for attorneys, so on and so forth. And if they can get 60 cents on the dollar, with the revenues declining and everything the city's facing, I think that that's what needs to be done and move the city forward and get out of the banking business.
Got a motion, a second.
Yeah, I want to ask one question of Leslie real quick. So they think they can get 60 to 80% back? There's companies that do that?
Yeah, I mean, there's no they said there was no guarantees. And those, I mean, those are whether or not you said all of them?
I think every loan we have, because I think that's the only chance of getting them to take some of them, is if they can take all of them and take the good ones with the bad ones and get out of the banking business. And the city of Lawrenceburg is no longer in the banking business or in the collection business.
The only thing the only caution I have on that would be that the ones that are paying anyway, you know, their interest rates are going to go from 2% to who knows. Those, you know, that's the only drawback. I mean, I don't know exactly what those interest rates would be, but maybe that's something, I mean, if you want UCB or U.S. Bank or Friendship to come here and talk to you in the open meeting and you can ask questions like that, that's fine. I don't know the kind of interest rate that will go with that if we were to sell, because it is bad debt. That's what they were talking about. So I'd say only a handful of these would, you know, that's what they're talking about, the selling part of it. But.
Yep. And then the people that balloon payment isn't up yet, that company would be required to keep that schedule the same as of right now, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
To assume the debt. Okay.
Yep.
I got a question. If we only get 60 to 80% on the dollar, would the collateral itself be worth more in a foreclosing on the property than to selling the debt?
I mean, I think as I know it's been said many times, I think each one of these have to be dealt with individually because there are different, I mean, for instance, Mr. Linkmeyer's loan is completely different than say, you know, Mr. Saharico's loan here. You know, we're talking about a huge commercial project compared to a downtown, you know, fixing up a downtown building. So I definitely think that there are differences in these. The ones that are paying and paying even after their balloon payment, because that's what we've instructed them to do, for them to take a 2% loan and go to something, you know, over 10%, or I don't even know what they would be as far as the. So I guess the question is then, do you want just to have each of the banks come and present? I mean, we could do that in a public hearing.
Right now, there's a motion on the floor. I mean, whether it dies or what.
I was gonna get there.
I'd like to see
I was waiting for somebody to
what the banks are gonna offer, because the good loans, you know, outweigh the loans that aren't at this point. So,
Got a motion on the floor, do I hear a second? Guys, like a second.
I mean, one of the things that actually we talked about the last meeting that we had, there's no reason why, you know, you have, what are there currently, 18, 19?
21 or 22, I
Okay,
thought.
20. I mean,
Maybe not quite that many.
I think, I mean, you could possibly just ask each one of these banks to give you, I don't know. I mean, we wouldn't necessarily have to use just one bank, is the gist of it. I mean, if you wanted to give a portion of them to one bank, you know, split them up evenly, however you'd like to do it. Because like I said, each one of them sounded like, you know, they know their stuff. I mean, so, and they've been calling me and asking me what's going on with it, and I did tell them tonight that I would ask for a vote on how you guys would like to proceed with the banks. If you want further information from them, I mean, we can invite them to a meeting, have a special meeting, have them come on March 30th, or before that if you'd like.
I would like a letter of proposal following the invitation to invite all three banks to the meeting.
Was that a motion, Jay?
Put that in the motion?
Yes.
Your second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
What was the motion again?
So letters of proposals from all the banks and invite them.
Okay.
We'll have their letter of proposal before they come before us.
Do that. No, that's all I did have one other thing. The credit bureau thing, we did find out, we don't have enough accounts to be able to report them ourselves to the credit bureau. There's 3 different ways that we can do this. We have to either hire a collection agency, and they will in turn report those. You can enlist a credit reporting service company to do the reporting for you, or you can join the credit bureaus. I think though, with joining the credit bureaus, you have to have a specific amount of like our utilities. I think obviously, you know, you guys just voted to do another credit agency that we were using. You must have a certain number of customer payment histories and a specified minimum number of open accounts with debtors in order to join the credit bureau ourselves. So, the bank could definitely do this for us. But on our own, we can't do that unless we hire a collection agency or a credit reporting service company. Either way is money, I'm sure, to them.
Is there a collection agency out there, just like on the utilities, that it actually doesn't cost the city, it would cost the company?
Well, yeah, because we were thinking, I mean, with these loans and maybe our concrete accounts that are, you know, delinquent, we might have enough. But there's no information in here of how many you have to have in order to join yourself. But
I mean, for a collection agency.
yeah, I mean, I can talk to a collection agency. But if we're gonna do something with the banks, I'm almost positive they said that was something they can do.
There's a lot of variables they can do, but you need to sit down and talk to them, everybody.
Now, you do understand too, on the banks, there is a servicing fee, and that ranged anywhere from a small amount to up to 3%. So, so that's some of the questions you guys could ask them, pin them down as far as that goes. So.
Okay. Any more of this?
Yeah.
Anybody in the audience?
I got a comment on the loans. Are we still on loans? I make a motion that the city of Lawrenceburg enter into agreement with Mr. Steve Linkmar on his previous proposal to the city of Lawrenceburg, now that he is working again, that he stated that he would give 75% of his earnings to the city in payment, and he would retain 25%.
Yeah, come put it, please. State your name.
I know
I
he
am
is.
Steve Linkenmeyer. Jane, I don't know where you came up with that figure. I did not say that. I never one time said that.
Did anybody else hear him say it?
No.
Yes,
I
I
did not
did.
say it. Well, you guys have it on recording, you got it in the minutes, I'd like to see it. The written minutes?
I believe it was a closed executive session.
No, I did not say that. Sorry. You know what, you guys, I'm the only one that comes to these meetings. I've been to 4 or 5 of these meetings, Jane, and not one other person's been here for these loans except for myself.
I'm not upset with you.
No,
I don't even have
I'm upset
anything
with you for
I don't even have anything personally against
Sure
you.
you do, sure you do. You most certainly do.
You stated.
No, I did not state that.
We need to
does say
enter
in
into
here.
some kind of agreement with Mr. Linkmar, now that he is working and making money, that he obligates some of that money back to the city of Lawrenceburg. Because as of date, since our last meeting or our last check, has Mr. Linkmar made any payments?
No, I have not. I told you June 1st that I was going to be able to make payment.
I heard July
Or
1st.
July 1st.
Actually, by July 1st, you'd catch up on all the
Yeah,
interest.
That's right.
By. But, Steve, how are we supposed to let you go
You know
and
what?
everybody else makes
The
payment?
same deal that the country clubs get.
They ain't getting a deal yet.
They're making payments.
They're making payments.
I mean, they missed a few,
They're
but,
supposed to be making.
huh?
I don't believe it's a payment they're supposed to be making.
They made them up until May, I think, every payment, and up until May.
You got to do what you got to do.
You're not willing to
You
enter
make
into,
promotions all you want to do.
you're not willing to enter into some kind of agreement
No,
to state that
no.
you will pay us some money on your loan.
I can't afford to give you 75% of proceeds that are coming off.
What
the
can
property.
you afford to give
I
us?
don't know. I don't want to discuss it in a public meeting.
But
I've tried
But
to get you
you
guys.
wouldn't discuss it in a closed session because your attorney said you couldn't bring in your
You really
financials.
think I want to discuss it here, Jane? Sorry.
Well, how are we supposed to get any money out of you?
You will eventually. I told you what I could do.
Would you be willing to put that in writing,
What's that?
the July 1st thing?
I already told you guys that.
Okay.
July 1st, I get caught up on my interest. I got till September on my taxes.
I just mean, if I would prepare something that states
Get it
that,
prepared.
that,
Leslie, what are you going to include in that?
well, you said you could pay the interest and tax liens, correct?
Yeah, I'd like to pay the tax liens in September, when they're due.
Before redemption,
Yeah,
or the redemption period is,
that's right.
okay?
I mean, you guys, I'm sorry, but it seems like every time I come to these loan meetings, I'm the only one here. I mean, I don't see Mr. Bucher sitting here, Woody Bucher, I don't see him sitting here, I don't see John Nesky, I don't see anybody. I'm here.
Well, John Nevsky came and paid one of his off in full, though, to fairness to him, a few months ago.
Gave what, 20 grand off of it?
17 something.
Oh, is that what it was, 17, yeah?
And he paid it off 2 years early.
That's fine.
Okay.
There's no way we can write into that agreement off of the money you're making off of your new contract that we can
That's what I'm doing.
So what you're saying is you're gonna make the money, but the only thing you can afford to pay is the interest. You can't afford to pay anything toward principal.
Eventually we will, yes. Once we get moving. At this point in time, Jane, I cannot do that. I'm sorry.
But the interest was 100 and, I'm sorry, let me pull that up.
Out of curiosity, with good weather, I mean, say good weather April, I mean,
Yeah.
if you have great weather for 3-4 months,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is it possible that that July 1st date might, you know, might come a little sooner?
It's possible, yeah, definitely. But as of right now, I mean, I got 10 inches of snow on the ground. I'm not working.
174, about 175,000 as
Yep.
far as the accrued interest. That's what you intend to
Yep.
pay by July 1st.
Will that include interest to date to July 1st?
That was as of 12/1/14.
I would go ahead and add in to include all interest to July 1st, not just back interest. Are you okay with that, Mr. Linkmar?
And that's fine. Whatever. I mean, I'm not running from this loan, guys. I don't want any favors. I don't want, I don't want you to forgive my money, but if you're going to forgive the country club, yeah, I do want to be forgiven. And if you're going to forgive the people of the concrete program, yes, I do want to be forgiven. I want to be treated just like everyone else is treated.
And I agree.
And I can tell you, I mean, as far as what I've heard tonight, I won't vote to forgive any of the country clubs.
That's fine. I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying I want to be treated the same exact way every citizen in this community is treated. And that includes the concrete program too.
Who should I forward this to on your behalf?
Senator,
Okay.
you got his email?
Yes.
And may we look at it before you send it out?
Yes.
You want to rescind your motion, Jane?
Well, actually, he is entering into an agreement, not exactly,
But not on terms you said.
not on the terms I set. So I will rescind my motion and make a new motion.
I will email it out to you guys, but, for your review. And then if I don't hear anything back from any of you, then I'll send it on to Mr. Bischoff.
So the letters for the 30 days and 60 days that we sent out meant nothing.
Well, the 60 days is,
Within 30 days,
After-
make some kind of payment.
March, would be March 20th, actually.
Will be 30 days.
30 days would be, would have been the 20th, which was,
There's been no payments made.
yeah, I believe there was payments made by the country club, correct?
Yeah.
I don't,
But right, I thought we was discussing the Linkmeyer right now.
yeah, I'm sorry. No, I don't know that there's,
There.
He just said he didn't make any payments.
Oh.
And when was the last payment that was made?
Let's see. May of 12? Where'd he go?
yes.
Oh, May of 12? Yeah.
So what happens that he does not make a payment within 30 days and he does not become current within 60 days like the letter stated?
It
Nothing?
said that legal action may be taken. So I guess you'll need to decide at the next meeting if if this agreement that you're proposing tonight is good enough, or you want to proceed to legal action. I am actually taking a teleconference on some different things that can happen besides foreclosure as well. But I can report those to you at the next meeting as well.
If he signs this agreement, what can be the consequences if he doesn't live up to the agreement?
I mean, we wouldn't give up any kind of legal rights, anything that we can do right now.
I mean, consequences for him, I mean, like foreclosure at that point, or what are some of the options?
There's foreclosure. There's, like I said, I mean, I can report to you back at the next meeting. Generally, there's a receivership that can happen. There are deeds in lieu of foreclosures. There's a short sale. I mean, there are lots of options. A lot of those options, the bank can also advise us on. So,
Leslie, to protect the city, is there a way to get an order through the court that the money from the dirt being sold would have to go to them for them to hold so much on the city's behalf before the money went to him? Because he's selling the dirt that's on the property, the city's got the mortgage, and it's devaluing the property.
that's part of a receivership.
So,
It's a type of injunction.
Because if that could be done, he can still sell the dirt, but the money's going to the courts. If they can withhold.
That's the receivership that you were talking about.
Can we move forward with that?
You can. I mean, it is a process that you have to do.
Is there any way to get a real estate attorney here for the next meeting of all the options?
Sure.
Are you going to contact somebody, or that way, you know, they would know, like,
Yeah, I
you
have
know,
someone.
that's not your specialty, you know what I mean?
Right, and you're absolutely right. But I can, I know that either Andrea Ewan or Bill Ewan, I deal with a lot with Dearborn Title. I can ask them to come. I can also ask, you know, there's quite a few in town that I could ask. But yeah.
I would like to see you going with the Ewings.
Just, you know, I mean, I'm not a banker or a real estate expert, so, I mean, I don't know what the best option is.
Well, if we have both the banks and the attorneys here next time, I think you guys will have.
You can ask all the questions you want to ask.
Yeah.
So, do a motion or?
No, I mean, I can get them here. That's not a problem. I don't think you need to do a motion to
I mean,
do that.
Jane on a motion she was going to make.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Aaron. So your motion, Jane, was to do this agreement, share it with all of you if you have any input, and then we can forward it on to Mr. Bischoff. Is that your motion? And it would include the interest by July 1st of 15 and the tax liens before the redemption period, which I believe is 9/18 of 15.
Is that your motion, Jane?
I'm thinking about it.
Before, it kind of seems like maybe we should meet with the real estate attorney before we send out this proposal.
The agreement, you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Find out all of our options before we lock him into an agreement that we might regret later. Because we could maybe move in a different direction.
I would like to see if we could get that meeting before March the 30th.
well, as far as the real estate attorney, if you don't need to see the banks and the real estate attorney the same night, we can do it. We could do an executive session followed by a special meeting if you wanted to on that.
You don't think you could get them all here?
Oh, I think I can get him here for the 30th because that's, you know, enough time, plenty of time. But as far as the, if you want to meet with the real estate attorney, as far as your legal options, and like I said, I mean, I can obviously bring those back to you after talking to them too. So,
Because you don't want to find something out after the fact, which I like meeting with them ahead of time, and they can also be at the 30th meeting.
Like I said, actually, a teleconference that I'm having is tomorrow on complex foreclosure proceedings concerning commercial property.
Would you need to set up 2 executive meetings then, one with the real estate and then one with the bank, or could we get them all together in an executive meeting?
I don't know that we can do an executive session with the banks. There's really no exception as far as the banks go.
That.
I mean, with an attorney for pending or threatened litigation,
Yes.
we could do that.
How soon do you think we could do that?
It would be up to you guys. We could possibly do that before one of our March meetings if you'd like. What works for you guys? Because I would assume it wouldn't take more than half an hour, maybe an hour at the most.
Nothing's gonna half hour, better make an hour.
So you want to do an executive session on March 16th at 5 o'clock?
Whoa, we can't do it on March 16th.
Okay. Oh, 17th, right?
Yeah, 17th.
Sorry. Legislative days. March 17th.
Tuesday, it's St. Patrick's Day.
Well, you already did that notice, right? They're removing the regular council meeting to
I haven't
March
done it yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
I've got it laid out over there to do.
5 o'clock?
At 5 o'clock.
And that's the meet with the real estate attorneys?
Mm-hmm.
Is that gonna be executive session, Leslie?
Yes.
Okay.
And then a loan committee meeting directly following? In case we need to vote on something?
Yes.
So will we have to make it even earlier than 5?
No, I think if we were just going to vote, because we have a regular meeting after that already, we can just notice that on the agenda on the regular meeting.
So executive at 5 and regular city council at 6.
And I guess that's an announcement for the public as well. Our regularly scheduled meeting on the 16th, we need to go to Indianapolis for a legislative day, all day that day. So the mayor was moving the meeting to the 17th instead of the 16th.
Yeah, then the executive sessions for the loan committee.
Yeah, we're revolving loan committee, and I'll put /council. That way, when we do meet as council, you guys can vote at the regular council meeting. Yes.
Okay.
Either that, or we can do a special meeting of the revolving loan committee after our regular council meeting.
Okay, whichever way.
Yeah, whichever way.
All right with everybody? Okay.
Because the committee can only recommend, so that's what we need. We'll figure it out.
Okay, I'll leave this young lady. This young lady's first, then you can.
And would you spell your last name again? G. Okay, thank you.
I don't know anything about that because our office did not do that to the credit bureau. The only thing I can say is if it's judgment, if we already got a judgment, that, you know, that could be reported, but that was nothing that was reported by our office. Yes, we have quite a few judgments on the concrete accounts. That's a possibility. That's the only thing I can think of how it would have got reported because, you know.
How can you proceed with giving judgments, giving part of that debt, other citizens, yet you can't, how is it so hard to?
We are collecting on the loans. We are collecting on the loans. I mean, these people, there's only 4 or 5 that are not paying, Mr. Rachi. So, yes.
And you've
But we are collecting on the remainder of those, which would be about 75, 80% of them that we are collecting on.
But do you, I mean, you understand what I'm saying? You guys are diligent on collecting dollars from a citizen for Congress. You're not diligent on collecting millions of dollars that have been sitting here dormant for 3 and 4 years. And that's money that could be put back in the city. That's money that can bring big business.
As far as the, this was, we did try to get the revolving loan fund committee reestablished in 12. And that didn't get reestablished until the end of 13.
I know that the meeting's been all last year.
No, they actually started in June. I believe it was June was our first meeting. We had another big one in August. That was when Umball was able to review all the loans and get us balances that we were confident in saying, yes, this is what you owe. Because before, we didn't even have those balances as far as...
I don't understand how it's easier to collect $1,500 from a citizen than it is diligent and trying to collect. I mean, I mean, that's your job. And I just want to know why you're not being taken care of.
Like I said, the reestablishing the loan committee was the first thing that we did. Then we had to get, and we are working on it. We've had, how many meetings have we had?
Oh, I know, I've called to get everyone scheduled. Called the mayor's office every time. And said, have we scheduled?
And I did not know that, and I'm the one that's been asking that the meetings be set, so.
I've called, and every time I've done it, I've put it where people can see it.
I don't, oh, you mean on the Facebook? Okay.
Because that's one way that the people can see it.
Well, I'm not on Facebook, so I wouldn't know. But all I know is, I mean, we are going after these. We are having these meetings regularly, and we've met with the banks too, and what we told the people, I mean, because we're not talking about $1,500. We're talking anywhere from $250,000 to millions of dollars. So as far as taking the steps that we need to take, that's why we're asking the banks to be involved, because the city shouldn't be in the loan business.
Right, but when the city took on the loan business, they set up
Back in the Tremaine's administration, so it's all been dumped on us.
But and I understand how that dumped on you, but there were parameters set up on these loans. There were things that these people knew they were going to have to meet, there were payments these people knew they were going to have to make, and they've just been set to side and not been enforced at all. And then when they do come up here, it's like, oh, no, we can forgive $17,000, or oh, no, we can forgive $100,000. That's not, they knew when they signed this paperwork what they were supposed to pay, when they were supposed to pay it. And it's the city's obligation to make sure that these people pay it. That's all I'm saying. And I understand you guys walked in the middle of this, but in taking on that responsibility, you also took on the duty to do it.
We never forgave $100,000, did we?
Probably talking about the deal Tuesday night. The first mortgage, $100,000.
Oh.
It was a grant. That was all that.
It was a grant with obligation.
And here, you know, Mr. Lamar, who asked, and he has every right, if you're going to forgive anything for the country club, he has every right to ask. But these people knew what they were signing.
It's a delicate balance. I mean, yeah, we can go ahead and foreclose on the property, which might be worth $1 million. He owes $3 million, then we lose $2 million. So there's a delicate balance. I mean, if he had the money, or if the property was worth $3 million by itself, I would make a motion right now to foreclose and get the money back. But it's not that simple.
And not only that, but
if you have a
when
solution, I mean, I'm
foreclosure-
willing to hear it.
Yeah,
When
I
you
mean,
do
3
have
years ago,
foreclosure-
this didn't just start a month ago. This didn't just start last August. 3 years ago, when that property was worth $3 million, nobody did anything.
I don't think it's ever worth $3 million.
That's why I made the motion tonight, because I'm still a believer in, if we could get 60 cents on the dollar for all the loans that's out there, it's the
But you
best
also
out.
said that you're going to pay a fee for that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so your 60 cents on a dollar can be reduced to 40.
It just depends. I mean, there's different
You know, I mean,
outfits.
you're not looking at the big picture here. And I know a lot of people think this isn't the taxpayers' money. You know, this is money that comes from the boat, blah, 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 blah.
It is the taxpayers'
But it is
money.
Yeah, it is the taxpayers' money, and it's the future of Lawrenceburg. It's the future. Because if you just wipe all that out, and all that money just goes to the wayside, then 10 years from now, nobody's going to be able to do anything to build the city.
Well, I don't think that's this board's intention at
You're
all.
talking 2 years from now.
But you know what I'm saying, and it may not even happen. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we're not we're not looking at the big picture. If they would have done this 3 years ago and been diligent about it, we wouldn't be having this.
If
You're
they
right.
would have done
You're
this
right.
5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
You guys wouldn't even be dealing with it. You guys would have better things to argue over. But I'm just saying that it's at a point where if these people are late, they need to be dealt with. If these people aren't paying, they need to be dealt with. You're not having a problem dealing with your concrete people, and they're the people paying the taxes.
But those were, this board was the one that voted, to proceed with the collecting on the concrete. And since that time, we have. And I would say that as far as this revolving loan fund program, I mean, my office, I can only go by what the board wants to do. And, you know, then them not setting it back up until the end of 13, we're only talking, it is a year now that it's been reset up. But, you know, with the bank's, opinions as far as, and our other attorneys' opinions that we shouldn't even be in the loan business, I mean, that's what we're looking at.
But then,
So,
like you said, you have people who are paying, and they're paying timely.
mm-hmm.
What does that say to them that you're letting other people just get by with just doing whatever they want?
It's not getting by. We have tax liens against all the properties. Like,
I know,
and
you bought the property.
like Mr. Linkmeyer said, if he doesn't pay it by September, that comes back to the city. Do I want it back? No, I don't think the city should have it back, but that's a last resort. I mean, we collected $250,000 last month, I think. I mean, we are collecting money.
You guys also put out, how much money was it at the tax sale?
100 and some thousand to protect millions of dollars of investments.
And I totally understand that, but you just said right here and said the property is probably not worth what they owe on it. So
Yeah, we didn't. How much was the Linkmeyer by itself? Do you know?
Lot 1 and Lot 5, they went for the tax value, I
What was
believe.
that? You know?
I want to say, no, I don't know that offhand.
You know,
I mean, if I were a
basically.
business person and I was losing $3 million as opposed to losing a piece of property worth, now worth $60,000, I'd let the property go. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
You would lose 60,000 if you could get it back for how much ever we paid. I mean, I'm trying to find out right now.
It's not even worth that. She just said it went for property.
I mean, you can sit up there and say shoulda, coulda, woulda. Do you have a solution tomorrow for it? I'm doing the best I can. Like I said before, I'm not a banker. I'm not a real estate lawyer. I asked for them to be here at the next meeting to get help.
Right.
I mean, we can sit here and complain all day, but
My whole question was, again, the initial question, you could go after people for concrete and deem their credit, why can't these loans be reported to the credit bureau so these people aren't out there getting $3 or $4 million in money that they can't afford to pay and they default on the city? That was my original question.
it got off track. I didn't even respond to that part.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
But I mean, that was my original question.
And I'm the one that I did ask for it to be put on people's credits because it's not fair if they do go out and borrow more money because, you know, and puts a bank in that situation because they can't see of what debt they're actually holding.
And again, it wasn't your fault because you didn't get to set up the loans. But that's just like if I take over as CEO of a company, I have to deal with what's up behind me to get to where I can go forward. That's just what I'm saying.
Dennis, you got something?
Dennis Hutchins, 118 Lawrence. You guys are talking about my own
I don't think that we can have the bankers in an executive session, Dennis. There's no exception. There's no exception to we have to have that as a public meeting.
What I would understand, quickly, like, for think my somebody in favor of whatever, some privacy. But I just want to know as a citizen, certainly for other reasons.
Yeah, the bank should be an open meeting on.
If you can't do it, you can't do it.
No, you can do it.
We can do it.
With the banks.
The open.
It will be public.
The banks you can, because there is not an exception to
That would be great if you could.
to the public meetings. And that's what executive sessions are. There's exceptions. There's certain exceptions.
You guys were thinking about executive session?
No, just for the real estate attorney to come and advise the board. Mhm.
Anybody else in the audience? Go ahead. Take your name.
Heard a little bit about vision tonight. Probably 5, 6 6 years ago, some people had some vision, put a little money into a project. About 3 years ago, we decided, I think, that vision wasn't any good anymore, and we pulled the plug on it. That's what happened. I know Stevie, I've known him a long time. I don't know how that all got arranged, but we ended up with 100+ places up there for people to live. Might be wrong. Got a factory over there. When it all got shut down, I don't know what else we would have got. But when the money, when the new funds got in there and started making the decision, the money stopped. Guys like us, you guys were part of that development too. It would not have happened without the city of Lawrenceburg. Couldn't have went to the bank. It would have never happened. And whether it would have ended up good or bad, the one thing that I would like to stress is, you know, vision what we could do with the $3.2 million if we get it back to him, from him. But what if we would have still been backing him the last 3 years? What would have happened then? None of us will ever know. We put an end to it 3 years ago.
Paul, can I ask something?
Yeah.
Just because I was put in a situation, the way I feel, that he come wanting more money. But how do you give money to somebody that hasn't stayed up and met their obligations? I mean, because then you keep getting deeper in debt with the citizens' money? Or, I mean...
I agree with you. I don't know what the obligations were, but man, the part that really aggravates me, I know at times there's people in this room that can answer all these questions. Because I know that people made arrangements. People talked. People made deals. It happened. Stuff was getting done, and then it just...
So you're saying backdoor deals, more or less, was being done?
No, I ain't saying backdoor deal. You know, things were done different 5 years ago, right? It wasn't all the talk in the meetings, but whether it was good or bad, we'll never know. It all ended. You know, your deal over there, you went out and got your loan, you paid it all off. I went over there many a time. You got 20, 30 employees. It's a project they should have backed. You should have not have had to went out, and I don't know that you had to, but you should have not have felt like you should have had to went out and pay that off. There was a deal made for you, and it was a low interest. Same as him, same as everybody out here. And when they go to a bank, it ain't gonna happen. It's gonna end it, just like the country club. Maybe they can't make it up there on what they're doing, but that place has been sitting up there for 30 years, and it ain't never made it.
Long.
And now it's probably doing better than it has in a long time. And now we're going to try to shut it down. If you want to talk about vision, look ahead a little bit. Stay with the program, and you know, I don't know, maybe it would have turned out worse, and I hope not, because I don't wish anybody went bad. But I don't know that we might have had a Super Kroger's back here in the back. But you got to, if you're going to put money in something, and it seems to me like in a year we've got something coming up, and the one thing that I've learned out of this is, and it makes me real reluctant to make any deals, because the next bunch coming in might not think that's such a good deal. And that ain't fair to a guy like me. And that's what happened to him, and possibly a couple others. It's a lot of money. We'd all like to have it back. And Gotta look at what you got for what you put in it. I know for a fact he moved that dirt too damn cheap. You know, I know he did. I've done it too many times. I've hired too many people. He was getting work done for a decent price, a good price. You got a factory, you got some apartments, you have a little, you know. I don't know the answer, but I do know one answer is this shuts it down. And maybe we shouldn't be in the loan business, and I've said that all along. Shouldn't be in the loan business, but you know, on the little houses we got going around town, I don't know what you're doing. You gotta make money on everything you do, because the truth of the matter is, if that's the case, you're making a big mistake on my houses. Because you're in the hole 50 to 60 grand before I even build a house. But what you're doing is you're putting people downtown, and I don't know whether you guys can look at it. You gotta look at it as economic development or something that you can't. I don't know the answer, but I know there's a guy back here that suffered, and he ain't the only one. The local people that did the work, and most of them were his friends. And you like to be able to pay your people. You like to be able to do that. But when that kind of money just stops, and you walk in that door and you say, hey, I'm ready to go on this next phase, and all of a sudden, ain't doing it no more. We ain't gonna say nothing for whatever reason. This new group don't like the idea, and we're gonna be quiet. We ain't gonna say no more. That's disappointing to me. I ain't never been in a position where I worried about my job. If I thought there was something that I could say and move things along, and know that I made a deal 3 years earlier, and what part of that deal was, I'd get up in front of you and tell them. I wish I know what went on, because I know damn good and well that a fence contractor never walked in these doors and had this idea alone.
I'd like to hear it too.
Anybody else will speak? Okay. Motion adjourned. Move. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's 48, 47 or 48.
I don't know. What do you need?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it right. So I just need to call the no, close enough. How much is low and how much is still outstanding?
For Linkmeyer?
General.
Everybody? I have no idea.
Nobody knows?
Well, I could go over there tomorrow and figure it out, but how much money was loaned and how much is still outstanding?
How much is still outstanding overall?
Yeah.
She's usually here. Jeez.
Hold on.
Who is it that usually sits there in your place?
Oh, Erica?
Erica. I can guarantee you she's got it.
Can't talk to Erica these days.
Oh, yeah?
She had it, I know, because she's asked.
Hold on a minute. We had,
Okay.
I had a certain,
Gander.
Oh, they did? Oh, I
That's crazy.
I didn't know that.
That this morning.
Oh.
I was called and Harris would come down and
Yeah.
convince me.
Last minute.
You said candor?
we have $12.9 million outstanding.
Outstanding. How much originally left?
23 is what I want to say. Let me look. And, I mean, you can say approximately.
I can't. And how much, evidently, Lakemont, Mr. Lakemont is the largest.
Yes, business 3.2.
He owes
That was the loan. It was 3.3.
3.
Originally.
So now it's with the interest and penalties and everything. Yeah, I mean, he's paid some on it, but
Hasn't
but
been since May of 12.
Oh, I see. In other words, the interest is outrunning.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr.
guys later.
Take care.
And I hate to ask.
See, you won't be at the next meeting?
No, I won't be at the next meeting.
What's his problem?
You guys have a nice evening.
It was a subdivision,
Mayor,
a
let's-
commercial subdivision.
Bye.
Okay.
See ya.
You too, Aaron.
It's when you turn it between McDonald's and, what's that company down there?
Yeah, it's behind Walmart.
Behind Walmart. Right there.
Well, that's where the apartments are, but
But no,
you're talking about.
that's the 3.2.
Oh, is that, okay.
Yes, that's the
That's
seven.
apartments, he built those.
All the way
And
to
then
the back.
he sold the one lot to, and someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's a lot more
About
property
70
involved in
acres of
that.
dirt to come off. of it.
Yeah, there's also 17 acres behind, Kroger's. That's part of that collateral.
Isn't there more?
I think that's it.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think those are the
About
two.
70
It's
acres that's being moved.
77 plus the 17, I believe.
So it's total, what did you say, 17 behind Kroger's and 77?
These are just numbers off the top of my
Well,
head,
you know,
so.
they can be approximates.
I thought it was over 77.
77.
I thought it was.
Well,
Well, but all the property that he bought, like George Walters, which was another little piece.
Right.
And stuff,
But
so.
what our collateral on the loan is 77.6 and 17.7. So, whatever that is together. Yeah. Those are exact numbers. Those are that's the acreage or the collateral on them.
Right.
No. Has nothing to do with that. It's that stupidity factor.
Always just wild.
No, actually, it was pretty tame tonight.
Tame? That was tame?
That was pretty tame.
I was gonna say, I haven't seen you around. I mean, you used to play ball all the time.
Yeah, you play ball, I just stood there and passed.
It's been a long time.
I'm Leslie Votel.
I'm Joe Awad.
Joe,
Nice
who
to
are they
meet you.
gonna hire to take her place then, do you know?
I am here in the interim. I
Interim?
don't know.
They fired?
I mean, that's, yeah, that's fine. I just wondered if you knew of
That
anybody.
stinks.
They're gonna interview.
Yeah.
They asked me if I wanted to interview, I could, but I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And they said that if
You'd be entertained if nothing else.
if I don't, then I can go back to Harrison with my full,
Yeah,
situation
yeah,
there.
okay.
I can tell you this is gonna get in, since the election's coming, this is gonna get in.
Right.
So if you wanna come to Days of Our Lives, you're in the right place.
Yeah. You play ball anymore?
You know what?
You'd be better off in
I'm doing
Harrison.
a lot of, I'm training right now for a marathon.
Oh, are you really?
Did a half last year. I try to do one big event every year, just try to.
Don't worry.
But,
Don't worry.
I don't play a whole lot of ball.
No.
I know the guys play
Everything
mornings,
was
a couple times a week, but
I'll be 60.
yeah.
Plus, I injured my arm. I had a really bad fall and tore up my nerves and broke it in 3 places. And it was bad.
My
So I
Saturday
can't-
morning.
Yeah, when I saw you out there, I was like, holy cow, I haven't seen you forever.
You plays.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, that's fun.
The grants are over here with both years. I have the
Hell, I was
loans,
35 years old then.
He would be the one asking
Yeah.
for
I'm 40
not grants.
And,
You have
yeah.
to talk to
I
Mr.
just-
Hughes about
I was
those.
35 playing
Yeah,
with
they have a
20-year-old.
whole thing on. I have the loans.
He would have who's received it.
Yeah.
As long as you were doing
Well, yeah, he can take,
I used to like to
Yeah,
play
and
ball.
you are?
I
I'm
did.
AJ Willis.
I really did. I used to
AJ
go
who?
down there to the park.
okay.
Play with those guys down there.
Oh, Waltz, I heard, I know one of the girls does.
Catches up
Waltz
with
business or
you.
something.
No, I did the
You ain't
photos.
kidding.
Takes away our
Rolls for the
childhood.
website.
Oh, okay. I see.
I get on the stationary bike a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, no, it's fine.
I'm,
And I just had a
I've
question
kinda
if he's
converted
received them, so I'll talk to
to a
Grant.
mountain bike.
Yeah,
because my-
call the
Yeah,
mayor's
that's a good
secretary,
idea.
and ask to speak to Mr. Hughes.
Yeah, low impact.
And he should
good,
get you that
man.
I know,
info.
but my buddy taught me
Okay,
this,
no problem.
this marathon thing, so.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys.
I tell you,
Okay.
the pounding you take on your knees and your
30th?
ankles after a while, just not worth it.
Next council meeting.
Oh, next council
I was really,
meeting.
like,
I'll
man, I
email
really
you
don't want to do this
tomorrow.
thing, and then after a
the
few
next
runs,
council meeting.
you know, you're like, oh my
Have
gosh.
you ever run a full marathon?
No, last year I did a half, that's the first time I ever.
No, she's on
did
the
a half.
non-reverting.
Yeah.
I enjoyed running a mile or two here or there.
Yeah.
That was
Really?
funny.
You built
You
yourself
think
up
you
that
can
far?
make it?
I don't know, I'll have to.
Yeah, now it's like,
Email him
I
and
mean, I
see.
ran,
Tyler or him, I'm sure can.
I ran the half,
Tyler's
7:37 pace.
No.
Yeah, I was
Because we
really
Or
explained,
hands,
yeah.
because she's already.
I'm running with a guy, Matt Fox. He's a friendship
Oh, yeah,
insurance.
yeah, I know.
Brittany through the whole.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
rigmarole.
Mentally, he's a beast.
And I told her,
But,
don't worry about it because.
he wants to run
we're
a sub
doing it like they
3:45
set it up.
in
That they
Yeah.
passed-
in this
they
marathon.
passed it.
Yeah.
Man.
We've been
And they signed him
running
and
just
passed
under
him
8:30s.
with
you
the
know.
wording that's in there.
Right.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean,
And she's
I mean, for that many months, that's pretty darn good.
I mean, if she didn't understand what was going on at the time,
He's the one
that's
who got
her
me
damn
mountain
fault.
bike.
Y'all come to my
And,
house, we'll look for that.
You know, I really enjoy that just because when I get
I
home.
wanted to just go down there and kill her.
This is a
That's a good stress, right?
Oh, yeah. You see, mentally, I used to run for therapy, you know? I used to run a couple miles. You know, great. But when you get to running 4, 5, 6 miles,